Hello, everyone, and welcome to Big Blue News. I'm your host, Carlos.
And I'm Andy. Let's get right into the news.
On Saturday, March 29th at 7 p.m. at the Swampscott High School Auditorium, a first-ever event, Swampscott Fish Tales, will take place and build community with the power of well-told stories relating to the theme Changing Tides and transcend all boundaries of place. The evening will feature 5 storytellers and a master of ceremonies. All of them have ties to Swampscott, including legendary sportscaster Mike Lynch, Jewish-Ukrainian immigrant and comic Misha Trubnikov, fisherman and former restaurateur John Ingalls, Haitian immigrant and poet Enzo Silon-Surin, high school student leader Leora Ragozin, award-winning journalist Ann Driscoll, and Kim Kerrigan as MC. Tickets cost $35 for general admission and $15 for students. Along with those prices, there's also a Well Fisher sponsorship for $500, which nets you your name in the pre-show video for the event, along with their printed program and 2 event tickets. For more information, go to swampscotttides.org/fishtales. Swampscott Fish Tales will be an immersive experience for participants, offering curated personal stories and a diverse set of local voices with inspiring tales of overcoming adversity, changing directions, and triumphing over failure.
2 weeks ago, our very own robotics team, the 4311 Swampscott Currents, competed at their very first robotics competition of the year. The team has spent the last 6 weeks building their robot using an extremely unique design along with the new driving system, making the robot extremely quick, nimble, and efficient. Using this design, along with a consistent climbing mechanism, the robotics team is currently in the top 50 in the world at endgame points. At the competition, they were able to achieve 5th place and become an alliance captain in the playoffs, which is better than they have ever done before. Their next competition is at the University of Vermont, UVM, on the 28th, where they're expected to perform extremely well. If this extraordinary progress continues, they are on track to going to the district championships later this year in Springfield, Massachusetts.
On Tuesday, February 25th, SURE, Swampscott Unity's Respects and Embraces Diversity, had its 4th annual Black History Month celebration. Opening up is Kelly Khatib, the chair of SURE, explaining why we celebrate Black History Month.
It is our combined story that makes the American story. The accomplishments of people of African descent have been suppressed for so long, which is why we celebrate Black History Month in February.
Enzo Surin, a poet, introduced his poems as a way of connecting to the community. He also explained why Black History Month isn't just celebrating the achievements of Black people.
There's one thing we can learn about ourselves from Black history. Black History Month is not just about celebrating achievements. It's about recognizing the deep well of wisdom and resilience that Black people have carried throughout American history.
Lastly, the evening concluded with Enzo asking a group of panelists questions about the community. The panelists included Ruben Casada, Chief of Police, James Runner, Essex County DA, Rachel Shirey-Yeva, SURE Executive Board, and Swampscott High School students Nikeelan Davis and Olivia Bouffard.
Bringing something to the community as well as accepting what the community gives you is very important, but you also can't be afraid to open up your own ideas as well, because some of the people in the community may want to be involved in what you want to do also too. So I think that's important.
It is our combined story that makes...
Overall, it was a very successful night and it was a positive experience for everyone in attendance.
On Friday, February 28th, Swampscott High School Principal Mr. Kawa announced with a heavy heart that he'll be leaving the Swampscott public school system after 18 years. Mr. Koha will be leaving at the end of the school year to pursue another opportunity outside the district. Mr. Koha mentioned in his statement that it has been a privilege to serve the communities of Swampscott, Nahant, and Boston and witness the growth and achievement of his students. Additionally, he is confident that this high school will be content to thrive under the next administration, as he knows that the dedicated faculty and staff here will continue to provide an exceptional learning environment for students. In the next few months, he'll be working with the incoming superintendent, Mr. Kalishman, and the incoming administrative team to guarantee a smooth transition.
The Finance Committee hosted a meeting on March 5th to discuss the budget for the fiscal year of 2026. Select Board members spoke out and noted that the finances and budget last year ran smoothly compared to this year. Last year, the school committee's approved budget was higher than what the Finance Committee suggested by over $600,000. The decision of the budget is still being resolved with a final vote taken at the annual town meeting in May. Today, we have Mary Ellen Fletcher live on set answering questions from Nikeelan.
Hi, my name is Nikeelan Davis, and I'd like to introduce and thank Mary Ellen Fletcher for coming onto the show.
Hi, and thank you for having me. This is pretty exciting. This is a really cool place to be today.
All right, so for my first question, I'd like to ask and know more about you and what are your connections to the town of Swampscott?
So I am a 37-year resident. You thought I was going to say 37 years old. I'm a 37-year resident here in Swampscott following the 1988 Olympics, which I was a member of the Olympic team. I was located to the New England area to be a territory representative for Trek Bicycle. So I landed here, and I ended up raising my niece here. She was kindergarten through senior. We went through the whole public school process. I've been involved, actually I even brought the list to you, I wanted to read you, that I spent 12 years attending finance committee meetings. 6 of those years I was the vice chair. This is a capital liaison committee, longtime member of town meeting, recreation commission chair, member of the harbor advisory committee, Article 6 committee, the Massachusetts Municipal Finance Association, been a Girl Scout leader, and just, I hope, a good neighbor.
It's amazing. It's amazing. For my next following question, I'd like to ask, what are your reasons for running for the select board?
I ran for the select board 3 years ago because there were 2 openings. And I just decided at that time, I had asked a number of friends if they would run because I really don't like being out in the public. I don't like public speaking. I don't like getting involved in drama. But there were 2 spots open, excuse me, and because of my experience, I just thought I needed to step up and do the right thing. I often, if I thought there were issues or I wanted clarity, I often went to resident comment, which I think is a great place to go, and to air your issues instead of just, you find people just want to complain and pick apart things. I would just take that. So I think just this is the natural process.
And for my next question, what are your thoughts on the difference between the proposed school budget and the town's proposed allocation?
So the way budgets work in the town, and you have to remember, the town administrator will release a budget and give a number to the schools and to all the different departments in which they have to come in. The schools represent a little bit over 68 cents of every tax dollar. So we have a very large community, and you have to work within a budget. Now, for the last, I would say, 5 years, the schools have worked very hard to really tightening up their budget and really working closely with the town administrator in order to get it running super efficiently so that we would be able to build a $100 million elementary school. So where we are right now is the number that was given to the schools is much lower than what the schools want. There's about a $600,000 difference. The town did not take away $600,000. The town just never gave it out to begin with. So these are budgets, and because the schools have done so much work decreasing, maybe it's time, look, we have to really stop and look and see what are the needs. We have to come to a happy medium here on how to make everything work. And is it really bare bones? Maybe it is, but between the finance committee, the school committee, and members of the select board, we'll get everything figured out and bring it to town meeting. I think there's a lot of work in there. You'll hear that that things were left out of the budget. Things weren't, you'll hear that, that the utility fund, we made a utility fund that was left out of the budget. It wasn't left out of the budget. The utility fund sits outside of the budget. The special education reserve fund is not in the budget. It sits outside of the budget in another fund. So it's interesting and it's complicated.
Very well said. And lastly, can you tell us how the special town meeting went last night?
Oh, it was great. It was awesome. So a special town meeting is called for different reasons, but that special town meeting was called because a resident was really mad at the select board, really mad. And so she exercised her democratic right, which was great, and she went out and got signatures for a petition. She didn't do it just once, she did it twice. The first petition she had signed, it didn't call for a special town meeting, so the majority of the select board would not call a special town meeting. So she went back out and got another round of petitioners, which was, to me, it's exciting because this is democracy. You know, you watch the news and you see people fighting in the streets. And, you know, we just went through it and we called our meeting and we went through all the issues over 3 hours. And the only big problem I have with the meeting is the level of disrespect from some people in leadership. It's probably the most troubling thing for me to watch leaders speak in a very disrespectful way, to watch leaders say things that are completely false and not accurate. Those are the problems that I have. But overall, I think it was a great meeting. I think everybody learned a lot. We were in the new elementary school, which was really exciting. So I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great. It's our process, and whether or not I agree with the other party, it doesn't matter as long as we're following our process and being appreciative of that.
Thank you. That's very well
welcome.
said, and I appreciate the feedback. And once again, thank you for coming on to the show. And that's it for the rest of this interview. And back to Andy.
Thank you for having me.
And now we'll cut to the sports desk with Nick.
The boys' hockey season has come to an end, finishing with a record of 6-10-2. We will cut to a roll-in where a few players share their experience and their thoughts about how the season went overall.
2024-2025 season, the Swampscott boys hockey players could not get enough kids for a full roster in Swampscott. Luckily for them, Peabody and Saugus was generous enough to invite them into their merger. This season and the next season, they will be called the PSS.
Here we interviewed Cam Gold, a freshman on the varsity hockey team, to hear his opinions on how the season is going so far.
The season's going pretty well so far. I think we have a good team. We have like 3 solid lines, but kind of rough start. We've lost 3 straight, so kind of got to get it back on track. Obviously, it wasn't what we wanted, but you know, it's been pretty good so far. I've definitely become friends with some of the guys. Having team dinners. It's mostly been like pizza and pasta. It's been pretty good food, and it gets us together in the same room, gets us talking.
We are interviewing junior Ryan Ferry to get his thoughts on the merger and how he is bonding with his new teammates.
I think the season's going pretty good. Not a great start, but we're a good team, solid team with 2-3 good lines, and I think we can really go far. I think it's going pretty good. Everyone's bonding together well. Everyone's nice. It only took like a week or so to get bonded, and we're all like close now.
Overall, the merge between towns has been a very successful and positive.
Last year, the boys lacrosse team went 17-1 and made it all the way to the Final Four game. Tryouts were Monday, March 17th, and their first game is March 27th at home versus Hamilton Wenham. We hope everyone comes to support the boys in another successful season. Last year, the girls lacrosse team came out with an impressive record of 12-5 as a team, with this year starting up, a promising future looks ready on the horizon. The Swampscott boys baseball team also had their tryouts on Monday. With many returning varsity players, they have high expectations for this year. The team had a record of 11-9 last year, losing in the second round of the playoffs to Tantascwa. They plan to have a better record than last year and make a playoff run. I quoted as a senior captain that I think we have a shot to go deep into the playoffs this year, and we have 2 new juniors that transferred from other schools that will most likely be in our starting lineup. One of them being third baseman Nate Lee and the other one being first baseman Dylan DiFilippo. They can definitely have an impact on winning baseball games this season, and with the team having 1 returning NEC All-Conference player and 3 NEC All-Stars, they should have an effect on winning more games this year. The boys hope to win their first game of the season on April 1st at Northeast Metro Tech. On Wednesday, March 12th, Swampscott High School's Room of Color group and a few extra senior students volunteered to participate in the 3rd annual Teachers vs. Students game. All proceeds support the ROC group and its senior scholarships. The students came out on top, taking a victory over the teachers for the 3rd year in a row, winning in a very close overtime game, 55-52. Nikhilin Davis, Jay Domalowitz, and Tyler Sanders were the leading scorers of the game, combining for a total of 50 points. We thank everyone who came out to support or volunteered in this event. That's all for sports. Back to you, Carlos.
Thanks, Nick. For our upcoming events, we have Keys to a Successful Retirement, sponsored by Swampscott Friends for All Ages, on Saturday, March 22nd at 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Senior Center. Hazard Mitigation Plan public presentation on Wednesday, March 26th at 6:30 p.m. at Swampscott High School. the Swampscott Fish Tales fundraiser on Saturday, March 29th at 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at Swampscott High School, and neighborhood meeting with Swampscott Corps representatives on Thursday, April 3rd at 7 p.m. at Swampscott High School, room B129.
We thank you for joining us on this episode of Big Blue News.
Tune in next time and be sure to like and subscribe.